What's up, guys? I want to share my most recent pickup, and as you can see, it's a pair of Nike Challengers. I picked these up for like 40 bucks. I think they're on sale at Foot Action. They're 40 bucks, and I really wanted these for a minute. I think it was the last pair because the guy grabbed it from display, but I'm just gonna be making them look a little vintage. So I'm probably gonna like paint the swooshes like beige a little bit, kind of fade the Nike, and then I'm gonna dye the midsoles, and of course I'm gonna dye the shoelaces to make them look a little bit more creamier vintage. I would do the tongue, but I don't have like the right tools for that. I know you guys, I'm pretty sure you guys have heard of Foxtrot Uniform. They're like the best with the neo vintage crap. They make like all those pens and all these paints and laces to make your shoes look aged. But I'm gonna be using coffee grounds and some Angelus and some like regular old dye that I have laying around to make these look vintage. So I got my measuring cup right here. It can be any cup, like it doesn't have to be a measuring cup, but I have my boiling water. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my coffee. So this is Folgers. It can be any coffee, it doesn't matter. Like you can literally go to a 99-cent store and buy yourself like a little bag of coffee for like $1.99 or something. Again, it doesn't really matter what coffee it is. So I'm doing about like, I don't know, not that much. Just kind of eye it really. So I have like 1/2 teaspoon right here, and I'm gonna drop in like 3 little drops right there. So that looks about right. And again, it's really just a laces, so it's not that much coffee that you need. I'm pouring my hot boiling water. I feel like that's about right. So I got my shoelaces wet now, and I'm just gonna go ahead and drop them in there. And we're just gonna let them sit there for let's give it about an hour, and then we'll come back and rinse them off, and then we'll see how it goes. Normally when I do this to my shoes, I just tend to leave them in there for like 24 hours and they come out looking perfect. But yeah, since it's boiling hot water, I'm just gonna give it the benefit of the doubt, and I'm gonna pull them out in an hour, and I'm gonna rinse them off and clean them and see how they look. So now that we've taken care of the shoelaces, the next thing that I'm gonna do is go ahead and deglaze the swooshes right here, and this back panel back here, and the other swoosh. So I got my rubbing alcohol, and I got my cotton rounds. So yeah, let's get started. Also, one thing to mention is that you want to be very careful with the Nike. That thing is actually painted on there, so you want to be very careful when you're rubbing the acetone around it, or the rubbing alcohol, because as you can see, I kind of already messed it up, but that's fine because I was trying to go for that. I wanted to give it that like worn look as well. So you want to be really careful around it. Don't apply too much pressure. I'm trying to fix it right now. I kind of just want to get rid of that black. I don't want that hitting the white. So this is the final product. As you can see, it looks a little sloppy, but that's all right. Honestly, I don't think you really have to do this step, but it will really come in play once I get the swooshes and the back panels painted. But so far, I'm actually liking it a lot. As you can see, I got the suede wet a little bit, and guys, let me tell you, the suede in this shoe is like very terrible. It feels like a towel, really. It's probably like synthetic suede for all I know, but another thing you could do is honestly just go over it with like a shoe cleaner, so that way like the suede kind of like fades a little bit and it looks more neo vintage, I guess you can say. So I had to ended up mixing up a bunch of paint. So I mixed a little bit of beige, again I mixed a bit of thunder yellow. It could be any yellow. I didn't really have any other yellow but thunder yellow. And then this crusty old white paint that I had. I have flat white, but I can't find it anywhere. And it ended up making this color right here. So it ended up making this color right here. It's like I don't even know what to call this, but I have a good feeling about it. This is what the shoe's looking like right now. Oh, it has a bit of paint on my finger. It looks like this, and I'm not a big fan of that. Honestly, I think I prefer this better than this, but we're just gonna have to wait and see right now. Ta-da, this is what it looks like, and this is what it looked like previously. Honestly, I like this a lot better. I'm gonna go over it with a little bit of rubbing alcohol, so I can like kind of smudge it out and in. That way it kind of fades away and it's not like all there. And the way I'm actually making this look a little bit better is by dabbing your Q-tip inside the acetone or the nail polish. I'm so sorry, I keep on saying nail polish and acetone. But yeah, just go ahead and kind of like rub it so it looks a little bit more spread. So it spreads a little bit more. That way you don't have to keep dabbing your paintbrush inside the paint. It saves you a lot more time, trust me guys. And it actually works a lot better than just having to carefully paint the white panels. Also, you want to be really careful around the Nike logo. I kind of just went in there, just like slobbed a whole bunch of paint, which I shouldn't have, because now it's gonna be pain in the butt to get rid of it. Just because I gotta go between the crevices, like the I and the N and the K and the E. But so far it's looking pretty good, guys. So yeah, look at this. It's perfect right there. I really like this color a lot more. It looks a lot better in the right light, but this I'm gonna have to go over it again. I'm not really satisfied with this color so far. Let me go ahead and show you from my perspective. All right, so this is the dusty one, and then this is the crack white one. This one looks really, really nice. Again, look at this, bro. It's perfect. And then look at this one. It's just all white. I really like how it turned out. Like that's perfect. That's what I was really envisioning. I'm not a big fan of this right here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and remove it. Yeah, so far it's looking pretty good, and the laces are still cooking up. They're in here. But yeah, let's keep on moving. So here we have them. They are 100% complete from the uppers. So you can see the swoosh, the back panel, the other swoosh. They look really dingy, and that's what I really like about them. However, this one came out fine. Like, it's just this that's really bothering me. Like, you can really actually see how it's stained right here, and then this one just looks natural. This one looks more natural. This one looks a little bit more dingier. But anyway, I'm probably gonna go over it again just because it looks more white, and then this one looks more cream. The key to it is, so you can see I just painted it right now, but the key to it is actually painting it, letting it sit for like a minute. Don't let it get dry, but just let it like kind of sit there. And then what you want to do is, of course, grab your Q-tip. Make sure it has a bit of your acetone or freaking whatchamacallit, or your rubbing alcohol. Make sure it's not too wet, but it's just wet. Come back here, and then yeah, come back here and just grab it, and then go ahead and in a circular motion, just lightly go over it and rub it. So that way it kind of removes it, but it's still there. So it's like getting all over the place. Try not to get it in the mesh. I already did that once. It's just kind of there, but it's okay. Kind of gives it a more vintage look, I guess you can say. Just go over those corners. Just make sure that you get the right amount of cellar cream in there. So like, you don't want to go overboard, but that's what it's looking like. It's not much I can do for the stitching, but then again, pretty close. I mean, not that bad. So very carefully with the Q-tip, I'm gonna dip it in the paint and I'm gonna rub it against the midsole. But again, we're gonna be using a dye in the midsole, but I'm just doing this so I can give it more of a look as well. That way, that way it looks more natural, I guess. So you can see I'm just kind of rubbing it in, And this paint was bound to crack. It's pretty normal. It's not gonna stay there because once you wear it, like the midsole kind of expands when you walk. It's like a, I don't know, it's like a foam, but yeah, it's just there. I'm just gonna go and spread it with my fingers well. You don't want to go overboard. I feel like I went overboard right here, but you don't want to go overboard because again, we're gonna be using a dye. But yeah, that's how you kind of want it to look right there. Alrighty, so as you can see, here they are. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful shoe. So now the last step in this do-it-yourself video is of course making the dye. So let's get to it. I accidentally spilled some of this when I was carrying it, but that's what's in the sink. So I got a little bit of eggplant right here, and then I got some lemon yellow. It can be any yellow. Preferably, I would suggest brown or red, but this is like the darkest pigment that I have on me right now. And I've actually used this before. I've done a mix for a pair of chucks, and it works really, really well. You just kind of like, you just gotta really eyeball it, and a way to tell if you're doing it right is just grab a paper towel, or like let's say some like a white towel that you don't use, or some white fabric, and then you can just spread it on there and then let it dry for a little bit, and then you can kind of see what you're doing or what color you're dealing with. So I'm just gonna go ahead and eyeball it again. I mean, it's really just eyeballing the thing. And so okay, so here I have this big old brush that I don't use anymore. I would say do this like with some paper napkins, because I know it's gonna run. Or you can honestly just grab like an old bag that you don't use, like a plastic bag. So I'm gonna grab my napkin right here. I'm gonna set it down here, and I have my dye right here as well. So we're pretty much set. So I'm just gonna throw it on the time lapse right now. Okay, so we're about done with the custom. Only thing that's left to do is, of course, go ahead and rinse the laces out and let them dry and wash them. But so yeah, this is what it kind of ended up looking like. I promise you, it looks a lot more cream in real life. It's just a camera again. It's a lighting probably, but it looks a lot more creamy. I'm really satisfied. If you want to take this a step further, I suggest like dyeing like the sock liner with the dye that you have left over. But it's like very optional again. I don't think I'm gonna do it, but yeah, I mean, let's do some B-roll now.